Good morning, all.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Doing good. It's getting really cold here, which is, keeps me awake.
Mhm.
Let's be here right now.
Where are you based?
I'm in Denver.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. It's just gray and rainy, drizzly all day. Portland, Oregon.
Oh, nice. Nice. My daughter is up near there. She's going to school at OSU, but remotely in Pullman. Kind of an interesting situation. She intends to move over there in this coming year, but yeah, we want to visit Portland at some point.
Let me know when you do.
Absolutely.
Hi, team.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. I always say good morning, and that's pretty presumptuous.
Good
I'm in
day.
Cape Town.
World on this channel.
It's probably morning in the States. I'm in South Africa, so we finished our day already.
Definitely not morning there.
No.
Well, for Fatih, it's been nighttime for a few months.
Right.
Not
morning.
night yet. It's like, are you
A
talking about
solid
TOC meeting?
2.5 hours of daylight. Solid 2.5.
But good news, tomorrow is the longest night of the year, and then days will start getting longer, 21st of December, isn't it?
Yes.
Where are you having your pagan festival?
But that doesn't happen now. It happens in April or May or something. It's like Walborg,
Well,
this
it's
big
certainly
fire.
certainly with that attitude, Fatih. Come on, get out there, burn some wood, dance around in the snow.
Yeah, we do that. I think it's April or something. I'll be in Stockholm.
The 20th of December, not solstice. What's the opposite?
Equinox.
No, that's where it's equal. The other thing. Anyway, winter solstice. No, that's it. We would just call it that, winter solstice. Anyway, that's the happiest day for me because I love sunlight. And so now the days start to get longer and it's glorious.
Yes, those minutes in the morning when the sun comes up, I relish those.
Yeah.
It gets
is
difficult
rad.
when it's after 7 before the sun comes up. Listen to us, we're spoiled, Fatih. We rely on our sun.
Well, awesome, Melissa, you get more sunlight because up on the mountains.
That's true. Yeah, we've got a lot of sunny days here.
Hey. So, who is Oleg? Will you be running the meeting or anyone else?
Well, unless somebody wants to step in, I'm ready to run it. But yeah, if somebody else wants to do that, just do it. So we have Melissa and Andrea who currently nominated. So maybe Melissa wants to run this meeting. I don't know. So maybe you want to run this meeting since you submitted your nomination for the TOC chair.
Okay, I certainly can do that. Let me drop the link in the chat just for those who need to know where the meeting notes are taken. Okay, let me know if you're not able to access that or view it or anything. And for anyone new, go ahead and put your name if it's not there already for attendees so we know who all has been here. And our agenda is already filled out for us. Thank you, Oleg.
Thanks for the and others. I just added a few links and topics.
Awesome. So we do have the TOC chair election. We'll talk about that just for a moment. We do have GitHub link for that there in the notes. I'll drop that in the chat as well. We do have 2 of us that have applied for this position. And voting is tomorrow. So please indicate your comments or your vote in either in the
Voting will be done by sending Google form. I need to check this with Michelle, so it won't probably be done under the GitHub issue.
okay.
So, but you can show your support there, obviously, like by comment. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
But voting will be done like any other vote election we had within the foundation.
Okay.
So if you do Google form, it's basically non-anonymous voting.
Sorry.
Google form isn't anonymous voting, or do you do anonymous?
I need to check that with Michelle. We will follow the same process as the past elections, like the chair elections and TOC elections. So I shouldn't say how it will be done, but it will be done based on the past elections.
Okay. And notification of that will go out in the email list and posted on the Slack, I assume?
So only the TOC members can vote on this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So like all the TOC members should receive the links to vote, but we will announce that voting started based on the nominations we received on TOC mail list and Slack, but only the TOC members will be able to vote.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, next up, we had a discussion about Go SCM joining the organization last time or being adopted. Do we have anyone from Go SCM here today? It doesn't look like we do. But if you remember, if you were at our meeting the last time we discussed, we talked about the 2 different branches that have merged from that project and how we're already, currently utilizing one of those. So the job of that community is to get together, decide whether to merge those together, start with a brand new community, basically figure out an option for governance of that project. Are there updates to be had from the league?
Yeah. Actually, there is a channel on our Slack, CD Foundation Slack. It's called Go-SCM. I passed my updates from the legal there as well as I will summarize them here. So one of the things, as you mentioned, Melissa, was like the community needs to decide like where to work to combine their efforts, because like drone/Go-SCM is the original project, Jenkins X Go-SCM is the fork, and both of them continued their lives and they've been developed independently. So the project needs to, or the contributors need to decide like where to go. And legal team doesn't have any specific recommendation for this. As long as community agrees on one thing, like staying in drone or using Jenkins X or creating fresh organization or pulling the repo under CD Foundation, they can do that. So as long as community says we want to go this way, the legal team is fine with it. The potential problem we may have with this, like let's assume the community wanted to call this new org Go-SCM, then there may be an issue there, because when I was Googling, I found a company named Go-SCM who does supply chain stuff, like the physical supply chain. I asked this to legal team and they said, like what Go-SCM project is doing is pretty different than what that company is doing. They don't expect legal issues there. And if those issues, like if Go-SCM company comes after the project, then the legal team says we can help the project with that. So the project is literally free to name project organization, whatever they like.
Have we
So that is fine as well.
Have we considered something like Go SCM, some kind of Inspector Gadget thing? Have we thought about that? As a joke, sorry. I'll go back on mute.
But that's an option,
like it.
Robert. Like if they want to, like it's up to community. Like if community wants to have some like fun facts in their name, they can do that. And I'm sure legal team won't care about that, But yeah, it is like it's up to the community now. We have contacts from legal team. If the project comes and says we want to go with GoSCM/GoSCM, that's fine, and then we go with that. If the project says, oh, we want to pull the project under CD Foundation, that should be okay as well, because GoSCM is a bit different than other projects we have, because GoSCM is literally a library, and we have past example for Tekton Helm chart, which is hosted under CD Foundation. So that is fine as well. So I guess we need to get back to project team and ask them to come back after a while once they have figured the way forward out, and then based on their consensus, we can support them whatever way they want to go from legal perspective.
Okay, so basically we're just, I mean, it's in their hands, ball is in their
Yeah.
court, waiting for them to decide what they want to do. I
I
assume
see
they-
Ankit there, by the way, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Ankit actually said like go for a new org. So that's a possibility as well.
Yeah. Maybe one question. So when we talk about GoSCM, actually there is a third instance. So when Woodpecker forked out of Drone during the harness acquisition, I believe they also forked out to GoSCM. And since we had some preliminary engagements with Woodpecker team, maybe as a part of this onboarding, it would also make sense to reach out to Woodpecker and see whether they would like to be stakeholders and also join this merged movement for the project.
That's important. Do you have contacts from there, Oleg? Maybe
I can look.
they can join the Slack channel at least to see
Yeah,
who is
so
doing.
I had contacts a bit more than 1 year ago. I can see whether they are still valid, because Woodpecker seems to have a bit less of traction these days compared to what was after the acquisition of Drone by Harness. But yeah, I can check. Mhm.
Would you mind making that comment in the Slack channel, just so folks that are in there are aware?
Okay, I will do.
Awesome.
Also put in connection.
So I don't see the fork in their org though. I mean, unless I'm looking at the wrong org. There is a Woodpecker CI, and I can post. Sorry, let me. Zoom meeting. Is this the right org? I just posted it.
Yeah, Woodpecker CI is right one. I was also looking into that.
Oh, actually, they are using Jenkins X fork.
Oh, okay then.
I just put link to like search results.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like they have their own Go SCM fork. So,
But it would still be good to have
Yeah.
them in the conversation, saying like Jenkins X fork might disappear after this work is concluded. So
okay.
they are not broken.
Yeah. Yeah. Might be good to have some kind of a redirect, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
I just want to underscore the communicating to those folks that where it's a dependency on, when it's time, why we're doing this. We're taking, two good things and making them even better, peanut butter and chocolate, and just letting them know that, Sponti, I'm just responding to the word disappear, replaced with something new and improved.
But that's what Ankit said, like Ankit's vote was moving it to new organization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I think if it's in Drone, then I'm fine with that. It's just that we have moved so much more, like we have more commits than Drone at this point. And so moving it to a neutral org would make more sense to me. Like, I mean, I think putting it in CD, like Foundation also works. I think those were the two like suggestions I had. One was a new org or CD Foundation, because then maintainers from both the group can actually work on it, like together, and it won't be, like governed by one org. Like if something happens to Jenkins X or something happens to that drone, then it's still there. And
You definitely want to have more repositories for examples, hopefully not for documentation, but it's hard to imagine a project that just has one repository these days.
Yeah, good point.
So, well, taking the pattern we have with other projects, for example, CD events, etc., I think that a separate GitHub organization would be rather beneficial.
I mean, if it moves to a new org, does it make sense to have, like a website for it? Then that can go into the Go SCM org. And then you can also have, like examples, like how do you plan to use it? With like Jenkins X, we have an examples folder, which increases the number of, like dependencies that we add to the native Go, like SCM thing. So that can go out, and that can be that can live in its own thing. So at least we can have three, like repositories. But I still think CD Foundation is like the right org for it, and or a neutral org. I don't know. Those two things. I think Brad is actually not part of that Slack like channel. I don't know if he's actually part of the CDF like workspace. So Brad is the person who wrote the drone Go, like SCM, the creator of Go, SCM. So I think not having him might not be a good idea. I mean, he was in the meeting, so I guess he will join soon.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if he's in. This channel.
Yeah, maybe one of the questions to be brought up. So there is another project which is very related called Go Login. Because for me, the question is whether it would be in the scope for the transition. It's unified login provider for ECMs, which is arguably an upstream dependency for Go ECM. So it means that if Go ECM is transferred and Go login isn't, it might be a bit of funny situation.
So just to clarify, both Harness and Jenkins X are totally on board with this. This in fact was, I think, their idea, right? So that being said, all of these other issues that could come up. Oh, what about this? What about that? You know what? I've got confidence that both teams can work through this. I don't want us, I would hate for us to focus on the possibility of things going wrong and solve for those problems that haven't happened yet, instead of just like, well, look, let's get the big rocks, certainly legal. What are we calling this thing? And then having those things, they have a tendency to work out. I don't see them being deal killers. I don't see them stopping any of this.
Yeah, agreed. My next question was, I mean, I think us in this group probably aren't in the position to make the decisions either. We need the community, we need their community to look at it and engage and start making some of these decisions and move forward with it. So the best way for us to kickstart it is, I don't know, start tagging people in that channel, making these comments, making these suggestions, see if we can get a group of people that are actively involved in those communities, making sure that they're getting their comments in and letting them make those decisions to move forward. So that leaves us as the TOC. I mean, we don't have anything left on that front until we hear more from that community and what the decisions are and a proposal for governments, that kind of stuff. So I would task those of you that have strong feelings about this, get in there and help these people get moving. You know the people that are right up front there to contact.
Has there been, good, thank you, Melissa, very good point. Has there been a kind of joint statement from Jenkins X and Spinnaker saying, hey, gang, we really want to do this? Has that come out yet? Did I miss it?
I think it was done in the last, like meeting. So both of us agreed, but I don't think we have a written statement somewhere, if that's what you wanted.
Something like, hey, we're engaged. We're really looking forward to making this happen. Like some announcement, save the date. You know, when project leaders come out and say, hey, we're going in this direction, team, jump on board, as opposed to, you know, the TOC saying, hey, do this, do that. All right. If we could get, you know, provide some air cover from the project leads to say, gang, we're doing it. And put it on Twitter, put it out, you know, Medium posts, something like that. This is why we're doing it. It's signed by both of the project leads. That's powerful. And that solves a lot of these problems.
Yeah, maybe an idea, Robert. That's actually a really good thing. Like maybe Ankit, would you be interested to write a blog post about this idea? And then we can also highlight this, like maybe there are some other users who may not be aware of this discussion. So we can post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Ankit and Jim and Vlad. If you can write co-author a short blog post with like history, why this makes sense, how these communities come to similar conclusion. And this work is happening now. Get on board, start contributing and be part of upcoming governance if you are interested in, like, just call for action.
Okay, I will have a draft ready by the end of this week, and I will post it in the shared like channel that we have.
Yeah.
And then maybe the like the drone team can like take a look at it, and if it makes sense to them, then we go live with that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then, you know, look, both Harness and Jenkins X have broad reach, and to be able to push that out and to say, hey, look, this is happening. That's really strong. And what that does is it gets everybody thinking about what's possible and, you know, bold, decisive direction for Go SCM. You know, that kind of stuff that works, man. And people say, oh, this is happening. Great. How can I help? As opposed to, hey, can you help? Help with what? The hell's happening? You know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. If it doesn't work, we'll try the other thing.
makes sense to me. I will do the blog post.
And we're and certainly at all of our companies, I'm sure we'll more than happy to amplify the message and get a broader reach. The least we could do. Well, I'll volunteer myself and see if other people jump on.
Yeah.
Would this be a blog we could post on the CD Foundation blog as well? Cool. We can
I
get
thought the
them.
blog post was
Yeah.
for like CD Foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, I can also post it in the Jenkins X blog.
Yeah, it could be posted on everywhere, like
Harness, yeah.
Yeah, if they are interested. Like Ankit, whenever you have the drafts, please share, and I can ask Roxanne to work with that so we get
Okay.
it out.
And
Sounds
having
good.
it both signed by both parties,
Yeah.
that's, you know, a public display of mutual affection and adoration and commitment. It solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we do with like Jenkins X blog post is, instead of saying who wrote it, we say it is by Jenkins X, like maintainers. We are like fine with it, like our internal like TOC is totally fine with like.
Oh, that's y'all run it how you want, but
Yeah.
just having both projects
Right.
involved, and it's not just one of them saying it, it's
Yeah.
both of them. And if it's on both projects' websites,
Yeah.
that's a strong statement. And you know, people like, great, we're doing this. Sounds awesome. Ooh, I've always wanted it from that side. I always wanted this bit of code from this one. Yeah, that's way strong, way strong. Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
your project, you run it how you want, just a suggestion.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense to me. Yes.
So I was making some notes in the channel, etc. And yeah, I basically took liberty to put Ankit as one of assignments for this story in the discussion. But yeah, if you see any other items, etc., just put them here.
Awesome. Yeah, this will really help keep it from stalling out and nothing happening, which can easily happen, especially when we get into the holidays and forget everything in the new year.
Yeah, so it's on the roadmap, so we can just pass through that from time to time. It's currently near term, but yeah, whatever.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Any last thoughts? I think we have a good plan ahead of us there. Let's go ahead and move on to talking about CDCon and GitOpsCon 2023.
Yes, maybe I can quickly share my screen and click those links.
Okay.
So if you are subscribed to the CD Foundation mail list or distribution list, you probably received this announcement last week. So we finalized the conversation between CDF, CNCF, and all the different projects involved, like from CNCF side, especially, to bring these two events together, and that was approved, and we sent the notification last week. So this event is happening on May 8th and 9th, as we mentioned in the past, in Vancouver, and we hear lots of like supporting statements from different people. So save the date, this event is happening. We will probably open the call for papers, call for proposals early January, and start writing your talk proposals. And additionally, we will have the Spinnaker Summit together with this event as well, like CDCon, GitOpsCon, Spinnaker Summit, all will be happening May 8th and 9th. So we want to bring everyone together, all the projects together, CD and GitOps projects. And before the CFP opens up, actually, we have another form available for submitting nominations to join the program committee for CDCon. So the program committee we will be forming will be working with selecting talks for CDCon parts, and GitOpsCon will be organized by GitOps people. So the program committee will be formed from within those committees. But if you are interested to take part in program committee for CDCon, please apply. And then the final date for application is January 4th. And then from January 4th and onwards, we'll be meeting and, you know, looking at the proposed talks, making selections, and crafting the program. So that's the announcement for CDCon. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, one question. So when would you expect the program to be live? Asking for a friend who is a Russian citizen and who would need to get a visa.
So let me, again, we have some provisional dates, but I can.
Yeah, provisional.
Yeah,
no commitment.
I can quickly say, again, these days may need to be adjusted, but just so you know, CFP opens early January, CFP closes beginning of February, CFP notifications beginning of March, and the schedule is expected to be announced week of March 6th. I'm not typing these because things may change, but beginning of March, we should know which talks are accepted, and then schedule should be announced by week of March 6th. And then that would give a month for visa applications and so on, I guess. So yeah, for flight tickets and so on. But yeah, February and March are when things are happening.
Is there a place where I can see what the program, like committee is supposed to do? So I want to apply for it, but then I also want to apply for a talk.
I think we
So
have a
is that-
document for that. Is a good point, actually. Maybe we should include that in the CFP form. I think Brad.
Yeah, Brad had a
wow.
really good one we used last time.
Yeah, I will put that link on Slack and I will pass it to you, Ankit, as well, and we will update the form and include that link in the form too.
So if somebody decides to join the program, like committee, can they also give a talk, like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they can? Okay.
Like, again,
Okay.
these are nominations now. The form I shared, these are nominations. Like if we get 50 people
Yeah.
stating their interest, we can't have a program committee with 50 people. So like these are nominations. And if you become member of program committee, what usually happens is like you may, avoid voting for your own talk, like conflict of interest, and you don't want, and others can vote. And if it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, then it will be decision of program committee. So yeah,
Okay.
you can be part of program committee and submit a talk proposal.
And Ankit, just to give you some, having been on the program committee last year, that was how we did it. Like it was if you came across because they were all blind, submit like reviews. If you came across your talk, you just said you skipped it. You could skip over it. And we also had there was an audit, I hate to call it an audit, but it was like a report that would given on who rated what. So if it was, if you accidentally rated yours, then they would take that out. We just took that out on the, because I think I forgot what I had submitted. So, if you just take that, it's a thing, and then just took that out, and then that way they weren't counted as part of the submission. So there were people that gave talks that were also on the committee. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. I also include the link on the document review guidelines, Ankit, and I posted it on Zoom chat as well. This doesn't maybe tell the entire story, but at least it could give some kind of guidelines when it comes to how the review process happens.
Awesome. I'm going to add those to our notes real quick. So Fatih, the last time we did this, what are your thoughts on the types of submissions, the number of submissions? Is there any work that we need to think about earlier on in order to get more? Do we need to advise people exactly what topics we're looking for, things like that?
We are taking CDCon and GitOpsCon, I don't want to call them tracks, but topics as a basis, and I don't expect them to change drastically. So
okay,
that could be a guiding principle when it comes to creating proposals, talk proposals. But again, we expect the website to go live beginning of January, and these will be documented there as well as on CFP form. So they will be visible on the website and CFP form. So yeah, we are pretty close to going live. The design work is happening for the branding because we now have CDF and CNCF organized event. So it won't be CDF branding or CNCF branding. That is what is taking a bit of time. But yeah, early January, hopefully these will be visible on the website, and I can add the topic again once the website is live, so we can discuss during TOC meeting as well.
cool. All right, good things to look forward to right at the beginning of the year. Okay, moving on, the CDF TOC roadmap updates and handover.
Yeah, that's just a quick update from my side. So yeah, I've already presented this roadmap. So I was bugging the team for feedback a few times before. I moved the roadmap to GitHub Projects 2.0. So currently it's basically the same roadmap as we had before with some adjustments and placeholders for topics we discussed, like archiving the SIG, also there are items, let's say for CD events, there is item for CDF reference architecture, etc. So I just tried to capture everything we've been talking about. So for us, basically what we were doing 1 year ago and what I think that we need to continue doing, just every meeting, take a look at these 3 columns and to see what is moving, what is not, so that we don't lose the track of these tasks. So it's basically a refurbished version of what we had before. Clearly, there is one issue. There are not that many technical topics happening right now. Some topics also have questionable future. For example, CDF TOC co-chair idea. So somebody definitely needs to scrub this roadmap, etc. But yeah, leave it to whomever takes the leadership as a TOC chair. But what is important that every TOC member has full access to this roadmap, and they are more than encouraged to participate in editing, to add topics, for example, from SIGs and projects that they participate. All key milestones for member projects could be also mentioned there. And well, there is no special lock-in on TOC chair. So basically, by saying handover, I say that all the TOC members have exactly the same access, period. And yeah, whomever becomes the chair can just remind us every 2 weeks about the thing exists. Okay, basically this is all we wanted to say. One thing that yeah, so for task lists, etc. So in other utility, we can finally enable it on one CD Foundation, but yeah, we'll follow up later because it's just a technical matter. Any comments, questions? Strong desire to put some items to the roadmap right away. It's not.
This looks good. I think probably a lot of us on here, especially our newer members, need to take more time to go through that roadmap and familiarize yourself with everything in there, ask questions, make comments in our TOC channel. I know one thing I want to avoid, over this next year is anyone not knowing what's going on or understanding what's going on. So please be okay with just throwing your questions out there in the TOC channel so that we can make comments and everyone can contribute. I know we all have our time of our day that we devote to this. I want to make sure that it is valuable and that we're using it in the best way possible. So very much appreciate you all for putting that together. It looks pretty organized and all of the tagging and everything, very informative. So hopefully we can push this forward and continue working in that way.
So yeah, one thing to keep in mind that it's GitHub Projects 2.0, so it basically exists on the organization level. So regardless of where the thing is located, TOC project or let's say CD events project, foundation project, you can just edit right away. So I hope we put the permission model right together with Fatih. Well, but if you really see that it's missing in some of SIGs, etc., you just comment and probably these permissions could be granted. So that you should be able to just put whatever important topic, even if TOC is not engaged directly, but if we want to highlight it on a regular basis at our meetings.
Great. All right, any other items on the agenda anyone wants to talk about today?
Do we meet in 2 weeks?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I know last time we had a couple of folks that definitely would not be able to make January 3rd meeting. Do we want to just commit to canceling that one for now and have our next meeting be January 17th? I see heads nodding. Yes, I'm up for that. Okay, all right.
That's one.
We got all the approvals. Okay, so we will cancel next week's meeting and the next one we will do on January 17th.
Yeah, we'll add it to the agenda. Just to make sure, so for Go, SCM, etc., there should be no problem. I guess everyone is taking Christmas breaks, so nothing is expected to happen until the second week of January. Anyway.
Right on, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Cameron Motivaslani. I guess I should have done that a little bit earlier, but I'm over at the Spinnaker project, so I'll be joining the TOC meetings here going forward. So ping me on Slack, CDF, or Spinnaker, whatever, if you have any questions or comments or anything.
Make
Welcome.
sure to go to TOC contributors list. Yeah, welcome.
Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you.
Always good to see new faces, for sure.
Hello. I also got a bit late. Yeah. I'm from Jenkins X. Yes, that's it.
Glad to be here. All right, everyone. I think that's it. If you did join late, remember we do have our recordings. They do get posted soon after the meeting. So if you want to take a look at the notes that we took and take a look at the recording, please feel free to do that. All right. Good to see you all. Happy holidays, everyone. And I will see you all again January 17th.
Bye, team.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.